The world of motorsports was left reeling after the devastating news that former NASCAR champion Greg Biffle was among the victims of a tragic plane crash near Statesville, North Carolina. For fans who grew up watching him dominate the track, and for colleagues who raced alongside him for years, the loss felt deeply personal. Today we are going to tell you about the tributes, the remembrance, and the funeral plans surrounding a man whose legacy stretched far beyond checkered flags and trophies. Greg Biffle was not just another successful driver in NASCAR history. He was a symbol of determination, discipline, and quiet professionalism. His sudden passing, along with his wife Cristina, their children Emma and Ryder, and others aboard the ill-fated flight, sent shockwaves through the racing world. The tragedy reminded everyone how fragile life can be, even for those who seem larger than life on the racetrack. The fatal accident occurred on December 18, when a private jet carrying Greg Biffle and 6 others crashed while attempting to land at Statesville Regional Airport. News of the crash spread rapidly, first as rumors and then as confirmed reports that left fans and the motorsports community in disbelief. Biffle was 56, still widely respected, and actively involved in the racing world. Along with Biffle, the crash claimed the lives of his wife Cristina, their children Emma and Ryder, longtime family friend Craig Wadsworth, pilot Dennis Dutton, and Dutton's son Jack. What made the tragedy even more heartbreaking was the sense that this was a close-knit group of people traveling together, bound by trust and friendship. As investigators continue to examine the circumstances surrounding the crash, NASCAR paused to mourn one of its own. Tracks across the country observed moments of silence, and drivers posted emotional messages remembering Biffle not just as a competitor, but as a father, husband, and friend. In the weeks following the crash, plans were made to give fans and members of the racing community a chance to come together and remember those who were lost. Organizers announced a public memorial service titled A Gathering in Remembrance, scheduled for Friday, January 16, 2026 at Bojangles Coliseum in Charlotte, North Carolina. The venue was carefully chosen to accommodate the thousands expected to attend. Charlotte, long considered the heart of NASCAR, holds special meaning for drivers, teams, and fans alike. Holding the memorial there allows the community to unite in a place that symbolizes the sport Greg Biffle helped shape. For those unable to attend in person, a live stream option will be available, ensuring that fans across the country and around the world can take part in honoring his memory. This gesture reflects just how broad and passionate Biffle's fan base remains, even after his passing. Greg Biffle's racing career spanned more than 2 decades at the national level, and his achievements placed him firmly among NASCAR's elite. He was a champion in both the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series and the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, a rare accomplishment that highlighted his versatility and raw talent behind the wheel. Known for his aggressive yet calculated driving style, Biffle earned respect from competitors who knew that racing him meant giving their absolute best. He was fierce on the track but approachable off it, a balance that made him popular with fans and fellow drivers alike. Over the years, Biffle accumulated numerous wins, poles, and top 10 finishes, but his impact went beyond statistics. Younger drivers often spoke about learning from his work ethic and his ability to stay focused under pressure. Team owners valued his experience, while fans admired his authenticity in an era where personalities are often carefully manufactured. While racing made Greg Biffle famous, those closest to him knew that his true pride came from his family. He shared a close bond with his wife Cristina and their children, Emma and Ryder. Friends often described him as a devoted husband and an attentive father who cherished time away from the racetrack. In many ways, this is what has made the tragedy even more painful. The loss was not just of a racing icon, but of an entire family whose future was full of promise. Tributes that poured in following the crash frequently highlighted this aspect of Biffle's life, reminding the world that behind the helmet was a man deeply committed to the people he loved. In the days after the accident, the outpouring of grief was immediate and overwhelming. Current drivers, former competitors, team owners, and industry insiders shared memories and condolences. Many spoke about Biffle's generosity, recalling moments when he quietly helped others without seeking recognition. Fans also played a major role in shaping the collective remembrance. Social media platforms were filled with photos, race clips, and personal stories from people who had met Biffle at autograph sessions or followed his career since his earliest days. For many, he represented a golden era of NASCAR, one defined by intense rivalries and genuine connections between drivers and supporters. At several racetracks, fans left flowers, handwritten notes, and racing memorabilia in makeshift memorials. These scenes reflected the deep emotional bond between Biffle and the community that supported him throughout his career. The upcoming public memorial service is expected to be more than a formal ceremony. For many attendees, it will be a moment of shared healing. NASCAR has always been described as a family, and moments like this reinforce that idea. Organizers have emphasized that the gathering will honor not only Greg Biffle's racing achievements, but also the lives of everyone lost in the crash. This inclusive approach underscores the belief that every person aboard that flight mattered and every loss deserves to be remembered with dignity. Speakers are expected to include figures from across the motorsports world, though specific details of the program have been kept respectful and understated. Music, video tributes, and personal reflections are likely to play a role, offering comfort to those who are still struggling to process the loss. As the memorial approaches, investigators continue their work to determine what caused the plane to go down near Statesville. While the investigation remains ongoing, the racing community has largely chosen to focus on remembrance rather than speculation. This balance between seeking answers and honoring lives lost is a difficult one. For the Biffle family's loved ones and for fans, the memorial service represents a pause, a moment to reflect on what Greg Biffle meant to the sport and to so many individuals. Greg Biffle's legacy will live on in countless ways. It will be remembered in highlight reels of thrilling finishes, in championship banners, and in the stories shared by those who knew him personally. More importantly, it will endure in the values he represented: hard work, resilience, and loyalty. For aspiring drivers, Biffle's career stands as proof that success comes from persistence and belief in one's abilities. For fans, his journey serves as a reminder of why they fell in love with NASCAR in the first place: the human stories behind the machines. As of now, the public memorial service on January 16, 2026, is the primary event announced to honor Greg Biffle and the other victims of the crash. This gathering will allow fans and members of the racing community to come together in a shared space of remembrance and support. At this time, there has been no confirmed update regarding a private funeral service for Greg Biffle and his family. Any further details about funeral arrangements have not yet been made public. As soon as official information becomes available, it will be shared to keep fans informed and to ensure that his farewell is marked with the respect he deserves. Until then, the NASCAR world continues to mourn, remember, and celebrate a life that left an indelible mark on the sport. Greg Biffle may be gone, but his presence will always be felt every time engines roar and the green flag waves.